It started like any other quiet Thursday evening. The scent of cinnamon apple candles lingered in the Carringtons' living room, mixing with the aroma of fresh coffee. Ashley had spent the afternoon baking lemon squares and her famous pecan pie, determined to keep up appearances, even as the house filled with her friends' chatter. They talked about novels, the latest twisty thriller, domestic dramas, the books that couldn't possibly happen in real life. Ashley always smiled, always nodded, her secrets stitched into a perfect suburban smile. The book club was her sanctuary, at least when the talk felt routine and familiar. But tonight, Ashley had trouble focusing on the words. Her hands trembled as she reached for a refill, and her gaze darted to the window, pretending to search for headlights in the darkness beyond the white picket fence. Alice, the club's ringleader, teased her for being jumpy, but Ashley only laughed and dropped her gaze. Tonight was different. Underneath the glow of the chandelier, Ashley felt the tension humming like a living thing. They stayed late, the conversation blurring, as wine glasses emptied and crumbs scattered across the coffee table. By the time the first member excused herself, there was an uneasy quiet, a shared sense that something had gone fuzzy and off balance. That's when the power snapped off, plunging the house into shadow. Someone screamed, a high brittle sound, and in the confusion, Ashley acted. She moved with purpose, her face composed, her hands practiced. The dark cloaked her like a blessing. When the lights finally flickered back, Ashley stood in the middle of the living room, her clothes smudged, and her face streaked with tears she could summon on command. Her friends lay scattered, silent, glassy-eyed in frozen surprise. Later, when the police arrived, Ashley recited her story with wide eyes and shaking hands. There was a man outside, she insisted, a shadow, always watching, lurking at the edge of their lives. She'd mentioned him at book club before, hadn't she? Hadn't they talked about home security, about the odd feelings she sometimes got at night? The detective nodded, flipping through her statements. The evidence was scant, the case thin, but Ashley's terror was so sincere, so breathless. In the following weeks, the suburb's fences drew tighter, curtains closed earlier, and whispers lurked behind every hedge. But Ashley found herself listening for footsteps, convinced that the story she created might become real. She would wake at midnight, heart pounding, haunted by the faces of her friends and the gaps in her memory, by the feeling that someone really was outside, watching from the neatly trimmed bushes. A shadow pressed against the glass, the ache of guilt wearing the shape of her invented stalker, waiting for her at the end of every dream, promising someday she'd learn what it meant to be hunted.